the center of the universe and the Thrive15.com world headquarters. Let's go! Presenting the world's only business school without the BS with optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner. The former Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear, Clay Clark. It's the Thrivetime Show. 3, 2, 1.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. My name is Clay Clark, your co-host with the Mo-Ost, joined here with the man with the plan and the guy who's a Tulsa tycoon. He's really an optometrist. He's an optometrist, but he's kind of realized that, he's trapped inside that optometrist's body. He's really more of an entrepreneur at this point, really. I mean, Z, how much are you 1% optometrist, 99% entrepreneur? What's the breakdown there? What's the percentages?
I'm 100% optometrist and I'm 100% entrepreneur.
Really?
That's just math.
Is that possible to be 100?
That's how you have to approach it. Yes.
He's
that's
big time.
That's how you do it.
The indivisible integrity you have to be 100% of two things is really incredible to me. You should run for office, my friend.
Oh, and I'm actually 100% of a few other things too, which I won't get into right now. But the point is, it's like, okay, can you be a father and a husband and do them both with equal zest and equal opportunity and 100% passion? Can you?
You know what I've decided to do is, because my wife's on the show today, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And she's inside the box that rocks. My incredible wife, Vanessa Clark, of 15 years. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying this conversation about, the 100% father, 100% dad, 100% business owner. It sounds like Thrive.
In the Bible, which I know this is not a religious show, but it stresses that you're supposed to basically put the wife first, right? And then the kids second. So I guess I'm 100% all in for my wife, and then I'm like 1% with the kids.
Well, yeah. See how that's going to work out down the road.
I just thought I would say it and see what happens.
No, the point is that whatever you're doing, you do 100%.
Yeah.
So when I'm dealing with optometry issues, I'm 100% there. And when I'm dealing with my entrepreneur issues, I'm 100% there. So you say, you break it down, and it's kind of like you can't do that. You've got to be all in with whatever you're doing. That's what entrepreneurs are. You got to be able to take that and, get your plan for the day, and whatever you're doing, you're 100% in that. So when you're with your kids, you're 100% with your kids.
I want to pile on here. It brings me to, I know this isn't a marriage show, but a marriage example, they say, it can't be 50-50. It's 100-100. And I think Z's right. He's saying whatever you do, be fully in, fully present. I know, Clay, you do that great with you like to bring this up. I know Z does it too. The cell phone, when you're with your family, the cell phone is off, or when you're in a business meeting, you're not going to be reached because you're 100% present wherever you are. And I guess you're just applying that across the board, Z, to everything you do, every business venture, everything.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that one,
No.
were you, Clay Clark?
I have a little funny story for you guys. Yesterday's show was about Elon Musk, and here's just a little fun story for you about Elon Musk. Apparently, if he's in a conversation with somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about, he just gets up and leaves without explaining why. That's what he's known for. He'll just get up and leave, and I guess that the wealthier he's become, the more he does this. And so people said that, like, if someone doesn't prepare for a meeting and it's obviously they don't know their point, he's just known that he'll just get up and leave. That's just his move.
This reminds me of a very successful business owner that we know who's a close friend of ours. I won't say his name. And I think you probably know who I'm talking about. Super nice guy, but every now and then he'll just walk out and leave. And you're like, I had to leave. That's the explanation. There's no explanation.
Can't suffer fools.
He
just gets up and goes. Yeah. Now, Thrivers, today we're talking about the mailbag questions that you are emailing. And so we have many great people just like you who, according to Forbes, 57% of you want to start a business. And some of these people are emailing us who actually have started a business. And so we have a client in Tempe, Arizona. And we won't divulge the intricacies of his business, but he's in Tempe, Arizona. By the way, the majority of our listeners, Z, do you know this now? The majority of our podcast downloads at thrivetimeshow.com are now coming from IP addresses away from Tulsa. So we're sort of people in Tulsa, a few people know us. We get some high fives at Oklahoma Joe's. We get some fist bumps, but apparently we're a big deal in other places that we can't verify.
The universe.
So you're saying with 7 billion people on the planet and only a fraction of a fraction percent of them in Tulsa, we're actually getting more downloads than IP. I'm sassy today. I'm just kind of sassy. That whole 100% question, you got me fired up.
Oh man! Well,
let's fight.
Give it to you.
Here's my question.
Here's my
question. This is a cash flow related question from a client in Tempe, Arizona. He's a thriver out there in Tempe, Arizona. He asked the question. He says, "Hey, I'm a one-man shop. and my personal and business finances are jumbled together. What's the best way to keep personal and business finances separate? Z, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to be kind of like the Monday morning quarterback with some other moves to pile on there. So what would be your response here for our Thriver out there in Arizona about how to keep personal and business finances separate?
Different accounts, number one. It's very simple to open up a new bank account. In fact, one of our primary sponsors, or one of our super sponsors, as we call them, Regent Bank, makes it so easy to open up a new account. And why would you have two accounts? You're like, I got to keep up. Yes, you have to keep up with both of them. And then you're purposeful. You know, if it's personal, it goes in this account. If it's business, it goes in this account. But they're all intermingled. I know. Stop it, pick a date, and now separate them. Work backwards to the beginning of the year and separate everything out. That can be as simple as a bank account separated, two credit cards. Two credit cards? Yeah, you have two credit cards. If you don't want to sit there and look at the statement and wonder, was that a business or personal expense? You have two credit cards, and if it's business, you use your business one. If it's personal, you use your personal one. And then when you get your statements in the month, you know that they're separate. So you have to set up multiple accounts. That's the only way you can do it.
Now, Thrivers, the only way you could go to Regent Bank and to set up a different account is you'd have to walk through the lobby.
Yes.
You'd have to walk
and
through
you probably hear the song we wrote for them.
Through the lobby of Regent Bank. Oh, Regent Bank. Regent Bank. That's where you're going to have to go. You have to walk through that lobby. Walking into that lobby to set that bank account. In the lobby of Regent Bank. Regent Bank.
I look forward to seeing you guys one day in there playing air guitar, just as everyone's coming in to sign up accounts.
Just because no one's ever seen
it's going to be a real guitar, Miss Bird.
Yeah, just because no one's ever seen us play the guitar and we have no evidence we can play the guitar does not mean that we could not.
I think Z could get some platform shoes. He could do that, and you could. What's something you could sport?
Who gets to wear the puffy shirt?
I don't think you're going to get him out of this sweatshirt. So
I'll wear the puffy shirt.
Yeah. You just do the whole get up.
I don't mind doing the puffy shirt.
Now, here's the deal, Thrivers. I want to tell you this. No question is too small or too big. And what I like to do, what Z and I like to do, is we want to get into the details, kind of the stuff behind the stuff. So I'm going to recap what his advice was.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
All right. One, he's saying set up separate accounts. That's the move. Set that up. Action step number one. Set up separate accounts. Two, you got to have different credit cards for your business and personal. Got to have different credit cards for your business and personal. Okay? Now, three, this is the deal. You've got to have, and again, this is just something I want to pile on here. You've got to have a business model that makes sense. That would be my final tip for you, because here's what I see. I see many Thrivers out there, and I love you guys. I want to help you. But you have a passion for something that nobody else in the world cares about at all, and you're calling it a business. But it's really just a hobby. And so this is maybe a side question here, Z, but you see this a lot of time. You have somebody who's really passionate about, I'll give you something I'm passionate about that maybe Thrivers don't necessarily care about, but I love the Patriots. I'm into the Patriots. That's my thing.
Oh, gosh.
And so I don't know that if collecting Tom Brady bobbleheads is a viable business move. Now, I could spend a ton of hours optimizing Tom Brady bobbleheads and get to the top of Google for it. I could devote huge amounts of hours to it, but at the end of the day, if it's a hobby that you're into, therefore it's kind of personal, but it's not really a business, you've got to kind of pull the plug at a certain point. You got to decide, is this a hobby or is this a business? So, Z, I want to ask you this. What advice would you have for the Thriver out there who's kind of working out of their garage on something that's a hobby? Maybe they're building boats, and they've started to say, well, I'll make an LLC, and this will be my boat building business. You see, now we can kind of justify it a little bit, but they're not making any money. What advice would you have for the Thriver out there?
I would say come to our in-person workshop, because what may be happening is there's things out there you may not know. You don't know what you don't know. And you might have a pretty squirrely idea. You might have an idea that is not making money right now. You may have an idea that you're doing out of your garage, and some of the people that come in your life say, what are you doing? But you know what? Until you know you're doing all the checkpoints that a new business needs, until you know that you're actually giving it every opportunity to succeed, you don't know. I tell you what, there's been so many entrepreneurs out there that have had an idea, have started it, and everybody around them looked at them and said, "You're crazy. I mean, you're just flat out crazy. What are you thinking?" And next thing you know, we're all buying the thing, we're all using the thing, we can't live without the thing, and we're all like, how could we ever imagine life without that thing? So listen, don't let anybody be a naysayer, but make sure you've got to double, triple, quadruple check that you're doing all the moves to give your hobby / idea / business every opportunity. And that's why, do we have any tickets left for this week's?
One
ticket left. So
That's
if you're
it.
out there and you say, I think he's talking to me. In fact, my business is out of my garage.
Well, and I want to clarify, because that one ticket you can bring, it's not like you have to come by your lonesome. You can bring your business partner, your wife, your husband, whatever, but you need a call to get that one last table reserved.
Up to three people can come on that ticket. And tomorrow, the 24th, we're doing an in-person workshop here in Tulsa at our home studio, home headquarters, right here on the left coast of the Arkansas River.
Oh, yes.
The River Walk, right here in beautiful Jinx, America, suburb of beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma. And you can come, bring your team, go through. It's 2 days, 7 to 3. It's Friday and Saturday. And we're going to teach you with downloadables and templates. We're going to teach you all the moves. And if you say to yourself, yes, I'm doing check. I'm doing all these moves. I've optimized all these moves. I'm doing all these moves. And you can't sell your thing. You didn't fix a problem that anybody wanted to get fixed. You can't make money selling your thing. Then you know what? It's time for you to maybe go to business idea number 2.
And you know what I'd like to, as you're asking here about keeping personal and business finances separate, I can speak to this about if you don't keep them separate. I remember back in the day, Clay and I were college students. I was a student at college when we started DJ Connection. We had been married.
An attractive college student she was.
But, we got married. And so here I am, just my junior year. So we didn't know any other way to do it. And let me tell you, it was life-changing when we got 2 separate credit cards, one for business and one for personal. We had 2 separate accounts, but literally the end of every year, tax season, it would take, I can't even tell you how long it would take us, especially as the business grew. In the beginning, we could handle it, but we went through every single receipt for the entire year.
So Clay,
divided them out.
So Clay, the guy that we were just talking to, that's sitting there going, okay, I get it. I need to come to your thing.
Yep.
How do they find information? It's tomorrow. It's absolutely tomorrow. So it's not too late to get here to Tulsa. But what do they do?
Well, what you have to do is you have to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You go to thrivetimeshow.com, and I would do your homework. You can check the references. There's literally hundreds of people who've attended these. You can see their feedback. There's video testimonials of people sharing their firsthand experience. They're not paid actors. They're people actually sharing. So you're going to hear all their faux pas and all their real experiences and all the nitty gritty. Or you can read some online reviews. But at the end of the day, you have to decide, look, is this going to be a good investment of my 2 days? And I'm going to tell you what, we've thought about every detail. We have really nice seating for you. We have multiple screens so you can see all the detailed information. As we teach search engine optimization, that's not a esoteric, vague concept. It's very detailed. It's very linear. And if you're not careful, your brain will explode as you become overwhelmed with knowledge bombs. And so what you have to do is you have to take notes. And so we've actually created the thing called the Boom Book, which is a workbook in which you can take the notes. And so you can leave here with all of your notes bundled up in one place. And there's no question that that's too small. So in between each session, we take a 15-minute break to answer your questions. You can get coffee, you can answer your questions, but at the end of the day, we want to help you get to the other end of the rainbow, Z.
Nice tie-in. Did you say that's because I started this song?
I did. My vast music knowledge is truly incredible.
Wow, you named that tune in I was 3 or 4. I mean, you were like, I would not want to challenge you and name that tune, by the way.
The guy who plays this song, if you get a chance to YouTube Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and the artist, he's from Hawaii, he's an incredible human.
Incredible.
Now, Thrivers, check out thrivetimeshow.com, and we'll be right back with you.
This show is brought to you by Adobe Creative Cloud. If you're a photographer, graphic designer, video editor, podcaster, business owner, or just creative genius, this is for you. All of your creative tools, all in one place. Creative Cloud includes the entire collection of creative apps for desktop, from favorites like Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator to new tools like Adobe Experience Design. Check this out. You can create podcasts seamlessly and high quality with Adobe Audition. Did you miss the exposure or looking to create a stunning and beautiful photo? You gotta download Lightroom. Okay. The latest release of Adobe Creative Cloud is here with incredible new features in Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, and all of your favorite apps, plus millions of Adobe stock assets and new premium images are built right in. So you can turn your brightest ideas into your best work fast. Make sure that you check out Adobe Creative Cloud. It's at adobe.com. Once again, Adobe Creative Cloud at adobe.com.
Now this is a story all about how my life got
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio. Nothing weird here, just listen to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air intro. You remember this show, Z? Remember this show?
I loved it. Yeah, it was kind of a clever little show.
Now, this was the show that was kind of a big deal right before I started the DJ business. And Vanessa was talking about before the break, she's talking about the answer to the question that this Thriver asked from Arizona. This Thriver was asking, he says, hey, I'm a one-man shop and my personal business finances are jumbled together. What's the best way to keep personal and business finances separate? And you gave him two specific moves. And I just want to keep giving them moves because I feel like there's so much here. And I want to get deep. And if you're going, Clay, you're getting too deep, man, then you can just cue up the monk music and I'll stop, okay?
That sounds good.
Okay, so this goes out to our Thriver in Tempe, Arizona. So one, Z instructed you to make sure you set up separate accounts. Go to your bank, do that. If you're in Tulsa, go to Regent Bank. Why are you not going to, don't be a sucker. Go into the lobby of Regent Bank, ask for a sucker, tell them the Thrive Time Show sent you. Regent Bank, check it out. Set up separate accounts.
Well, okay, number one, but let's say I'm hungry and I want to go somewhere before I go to Regent Bank to set up my separate accounts. It's lunchtime. It's noon.
Does
and
Regent
I'm in
Bank
my car.
serve baked beans? Do they do that now?
No, I don't think so.
Are they serving burnt ends?
Last time I checked, they were not.
Are they serving ribs?
But that, no.
It's interesting because a place that I go to that does serve all three of those things is a place none other than Oklahoma Joe's.
But where are they located? I mean, how can I find them?
Well, there's
is it
three.
Just an imaginary,
There's
heavenly barbecue joint?
There's three locations, and because I'm a man of habit, I basically only go to the one over there by the Bass Pro Shop. And so they've seen a disproportionate amount of sales. And they've seen a huge increase since the show started. They're like, man, there is a guy who goes with his son.
You alone.
He faithfully buys some serious baked beans. And I've run into some Thrivers in the line now I'm giving fist bumps to. And they're like, man, these baked beans are as good as advertised. That's one location, Z.
That's one.
Now,
I know the other two.
The other two
are.
The other two, I've never been to them. They could not exist in my mind. I really
like,
have to hear where they are.
They could be like unicorns or something out there just running in the field. But the other two are at 61st and Sheridan.
61st and Sheridan.
And that's his newest one. And the other one is next to the iconic Cain's Ballroom downtown. But it's only open for lunch. So I think it's like 11 to 2 or 3.
Have you ever been down to the downtown? Have you been to the downtown one?
I've seen it, but it was closed because I actually went to a concert there, and I poked my head in and thought, there it is. There's that little slice of heaven.
You wanted to bring some beans for Clay.
I could still smell the aroma of the afterglow.
Well, here's the deal, Mr. Thriver in Arizona. One, you gotta keep those accounts separate. Two, you've got to definitely set up a different credit card per business. That's so important that you do that. And I get it. When you're starting a business, I get it. They're not going to give you a business account. Yeah. I get it. You're going to go apply for a credit card, and they're going to say the bank or Discover Card or Master. The website I recommend you go to is creditcards.com. And when you go there, you can sort all the different credit cards and all the different offers. But just get a separate card under your personal name for the business and a separate card under your personal name for your business. One for personal, one for business. It can be under your name. I get that you don't have a business credit score yet. I get that your business hasn't established credit. But get two separate cards, maybe a Master for the business and a Discover for personal or something like that.
Yeah, and for accounting purposes, make sure that you keep good accounting of any money that you're giving from your personal account, i.e. as a loan to your business. You want to try to keep them as separate as possible. You want to try to establish that early on that, you say, oh, the business needs this, I'll just go out and buy it. And then you say, oh, the business needs this, I'll just go out and buy it. Oh, the business needs that, so I'll just get it. But you need to keep things really accountable because you want the business to be able to pay you back personally, and then as it gets rolling, and you might get investors down the road, you might get people buying into it down the road, you might sell some stock, you might give someone a sweat equity that comes in and is working it, but you want to make sure that you have a good accountability of what the business owes you personally going forward. Because one of these days, hopefully with our encouragement and with our training, that business will be making copious amounts of money, and that will be a problem. Oh yeah, I got to pay myself back now. That's fun.
Now, move number 3 is you want to make sure you have a viable business. We talked about that, but make sure you have a business that's not just a hobby. I see a lot of people who are obsessed with a certain thing, and you're going, you still love those Beanie Babies? And people are going, that's not a thing anymore, bro. And you're like, no, I love Beanie Babies, baby. And you're going, bro, you're the only person in the world still buying Beanie Babies. And you're like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep buying them. I'm writing it off. It's a business. So I'm just telling you, make sure it's a viable business. And the 4th tip that I would have here for you is I would encourage you to get some kind of coach or some kind of an accountant or some type of mentor, somebody who knows what they're talking about to sit down with you and to help you go through all of your expenses line item. And so a recap is the line item. I encourage you to just, wherever you're at right now, because you're asking this question because you're obviously in the middle of the fight. I mean, you've already been doing this for a while. You're not a startup. You've been doing this for maybe a year or several months. You need to go line item and put all your expenses. You need to realize, okay, every month I have a revolving credit charge for this particular thing on my personal card. I got to stop that and switch it to this. And so you need to go through line item all of your expenses. And this is going to probably take you, I'm just telling you, I hate to discourage you. Maybe it's encouraging. It'll probably take you 10 to 12 hours. I mean, it takes you the entire day on like a Saturday. And you just sit down and print out everything and write down what's personal, what's business. You've got to separate it. And it's going to require about a dozen hours of your time to do this, Z.
Right. And, you know, if you're in the United States of America, our federal government encourages business. They encourage that. And so a lot of times, if you structure it correctly, and here again, an accountant to go and make sure you're structured and make sure you're properly set up. Because once you get it set up correctly, now it's just data entry. It is following what they tell you to do. It's not as difficult. Now, if you go kind of willy-nilly for 6 months to a year or 2 years or 3 years and then go with the bucket of receipts into some dude, it's going to be more expensive and it's going to be more of a headache. So try to set it up great up front. But one thing you got to understand, and I think one of the things that a lot of thrivers out there know is that when you set up a business, now all of a sudden it can help your tax structure. Now all of a sudden that lunch you're buying, you can actually, since it was a business lunch or since it was purposeful for that, you can now deduct a portion of that off your taxes. So having a business can be very good as far as tax structure wise here in the United States of America. I do know that. So some of you out there, the 57% or so that want to start a business, according to Forbes,
yep,
a lot of them are probably saying, man, you know what? If I had a business, I can be more aggressive. It can be better for my tax rate, which is at the end of the day, more money in your pocket.
Z, is there anything that they should do initially as they're setting up their business to get prepared for that first tax year that will be coming around? And hopefully they did well enough that they will be paying taxes on the money they made.
Yes, you know, the thing about it is one of the things that just makes me crazy, Clay, is when someone says, I'm going to open up a business because I need a tax deduction. And I just want to reach across and just go,
yeah, tax deduction. Woo! I've opened up several businesses from coast to coast to write off whatever. I'm going on trips I don't even need to go on to write that off. Yes!
No, listen, your goal should be to pay a lot of taxes. You go, what? That sounds crazy. That means you're making a lot of money. But
pay a ton of taxes. No days off.
No days off. That's right. So it sounds kind of crazy, but one time someone was asking me about my horse ranch, and they said, well, that sounds like a good tax write-off. I said, no, sir, you don't understand. I want to pay taxes on it. They looked at me funny and go, that means I'm making money. What? And that's the goal, is to make some money. So, but, you know, here again, state by state, to answer your question, Vanessa, state by state, every state's a little different. The federal government's the same as throughout the United States. But here again, go in and get an expert to help you set that up. Because what I tell you to do may not apply to where you live, because people are listening to this all around the world.
Should they maybe put aside a portion of everything that they bring in, maybe that first couple years, in anticipation of taxes?
I would definitely recommend that you do so. I would definitely recommend you set aside a set portion. But again, I would talk to an accountant, talk to a bookkeeper. They're going to help you. And Thrivers, when we come back, we're going to get into more mailbag questions from people like Z, from people like you, people like me, people like you. Stay tuned. ThriveTimeShow.com.
Are you a business owner? You need to ask yourself right now, how are you backing up your files and important documents? Most businesses have no system for the files in their business. If this is you, you got to use Dropbox. At least sign up for one of their 30-day free trials. Real talk, it's the secure file sharing and storage solution that employees and IT administrators trust. You get as much space as needed at no additional cost. You get unlimited file recovery and versioning, basically creating new versions, and valuable admin controls for secure sharing and collaboration with Dropbox for Business. You got to check this out. After using Dropbox, you'll definitely feel more secure knowing that a virus or power surge can't ruin your computer and your entire business. Try full access to Dropbox Business for 30 days. Head over to Dropbox.com to get started. Again, Dropbox.com to get started.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. It's business school without the BS, and yes, my name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, sent here to teach you how to start and grow a successful business. I'm the father of 5 human kids, and I own quite a few chickens. However, there's a bobcat that keeps raiding our backyard. We have a real live bobcat that keeps hopping over. He lives in the forest, apparently. He comes out. We've stopped all the raccoons, but this bobcat, Vanessa, she's terrorizing.
We have an electric fence now, and we thought we were good, and we were home. It was so dramatic. Kids yelling, screaming, and crying, watching our chicken getting carried off over the fence. I ran after the bobcat, and then I thought, wait, if I take food from the bobcat, like, this could be bad for me. And anyways, it had just done a big rain, so it jumped over.
How big is he right now? How big is he?
I mean, he's a cat, but he's a big cat. He's probably about this tall.
He's the size of like a dog?
Yeah, he jumped, no, bigger than a dog. He jumped our fence, and I realized this electric fence, which is so awesome and has knocked me on my butt several times. Sam knows about this. If we just position it on top of the fence, he won't be able to make that jump, because I saw how he got in and out, and it's the one place that doesn't have the electric. He's so smart. But we're going to get him next time.
Well, Z, today's show is all about mailbag questions. We have mailbag questions from real Thrivers all around the world, and I'm super excited to read our next mailbag question. And for this one, we have live audio. We recorded the call in from a Thriver, so I'm going to cue it up. Are you ready, my friend?
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Doctor Z had a question about bobcats. There's a bobcat that's been terrorizing my chickens. I live not in Oklahoma. Very, very far away in New England. I'm Bill Belichick's neighbor. In fact, I just want to know, how would you deal with Bobcat? Is it legal to use napalm?
I didn't catch your name, caller, from Connecticut.
It's Barry.
Barry. I'm going to check the Connecticut state laws on trapping, varmints.
We want to use napalm.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm sitting there thinking, because I don't. Is bobcat or what kind of category are they in? Can you? You know what you ought to do? You ought to.
This has been a discussion at our house, actually.
Well, you ought to get it trapped and then get it relocated, and probably have to take that thing so many miles. I don't even know.
We actually attempted to use napalm on it, and we didn't know if that was legal. We just want to call this business show because for some reason I'm calling from a CB.
From a truck stop that I can't tell you where it is. The thing about it is I don't know. I mean, I know coyotes are kind of like, you can whack a coyote anytime
you can whack a coyote with a 2x4. That's law.
No, I mean, I think that's the law. I don't know about bobcats or pumas, cougars.
Wow.
Bears. I mean, I know
Hopefully
bears have a season.
Hopefully don't go in that category. Hopefully it's only a bobcat, no more than that.
Unbelievable. All right, now Thrivers, the real question from a real Thriver who really does want to know an answer to a real business question is this. This comes to us from Ohio, Dublin, Ohio. Z, Dublin, Ohio. Have you ever been to Dublin, Ohio?
Dublin.
I heard that Dublin, Ohio is famous for... Well, anyway, so back to the question. So here we go. This is the question. It says, I know recording calls is important, but all of our reps are remote. How do we record their calls? This is from Tim. Can I take this one? Z, can I take it?
Yes, and I was going to talk about the legality of recording and kind of dovetail with what you say. So go ahead and tackle your end of it, and then we'll make sure because there's a lot of confusion about recording calls. So
well, here's the first thing: is that when Steve Jobs started his business out of his parents' garage, I want to be clear, that was not legal. Because technically you cannot start a company out of your garage in California. There's all sorts of laws. You can't do that kind of move. But he did. And one of the things about building systems is you're going to have to build a system. You're going to have to build. The thing about a system is you can talk about systems and the importance of having a system, but you're going to have to actually build it, and you have to show examples of what you're doing. So, I mean, let's say legally, Tim in Ohio, that you can't record calls in your state for whatever reason, then I would call a different state and sell something else there and record the call there and then use it to train your team in whatever state you're in. But there's a program called 8x8. The website is 8x8.com. We use it all the time, and what it allows you to do is to record the phone call. And the reason why you want to record the phone calls that your sales reps are making is there's 4 big reasons for this, okay? Reason number 1, they have to follow a script. And they just have to. They have to follow a script. If they don't follow a script, there's zero way. It'd be like a science project where you don't know what variables were introduced into the recipe or into the actual experiment, and then you're trying to diagnose why something blew up. You have to know the ingredients. So you've got to record the call so you know if they're using the script. Second, you have to listen for the quality of the call. The quality of the call is just a big thing. I mean, a lot of people mail it in. They don't even try hard. So they sound like they're apathetic, like they don't care. It's, Fourth, or the third, is you really want to make sure that you're analyzing each and every word of the script, okay? So you want to verify they're using the script, right? You want to verify the quality, but you want to make sure the script you're giving them is actually sane. I can't tell you how many times I've given somebody a script that doesn't make sense, and I thought it made sense, but when I hear them use it, I'm going, oh boy, that didn't make any sense. So that's a big thing, okay? And the fourth thing is you want to have a quota. You want to know how many calls they're actually making. Because if I say I'm making 47 calls, but I'm actually making 4 calls, and by the way, that happens all the time with sales reps, it gets tough.
All right, you know what? Those are 4 great things, but we got to break them down. You just roll
break
through
them down.
You roll through those like a high-speed train from Paris to London. I mean, you just.
I put on my goggles and I just started going fast and I couldn't stop. Sorry.
So I'm out there. I'm in my car. I'm at my desk. I'm listening. I'm taking notes. And you always throw out this word script. You got to have a script. Script. So break that down. Tell me, how do I do that? What needs to be in it? What's my thought process as I'm writing down my script? Walk me through that.
There's a 5-part system for the script, okay? And I'm going to break down the parts. Part number 1 is rapport. So you want to script 5 questions for building rapport.
And those sound like, give me some examples.
Thank you for calling DJ Connection. My name is Clay. How can I help you? And they go, hey, Clay, I wanted to call to see how much you guys would charge for a wedding. They always ask that, every service.
Right at the bat. Boom.
Thank you for calling such and such optometry. How can I help you? How much do you guys charge for our glasses? It's always that question.
Always that question.
So you say, well, hey, just in case we get disconnected, what's your name and number?
Oh, that's a great first move.
That's a move.
That's a move because with all these cell phones now, phones get dropped a lot.
You got to do it.
Dropped a lot.
Now you have their information.
Now the second you say, hey, I'm always curious, how did you guys hear about us? And they go, oh, I found you on Google, Facebook, whatever. Got to track that stuff.
And these aren't offensive. They're going to answer these questions. They're not feeling dirty or anything. I mean, they're like, because they're just saying, in the back of their mind, they're going, dude, I just want to know how much it costs for you to do my DJ, my wedding, right?
So again, it's a role play. Thank you for calling the DJ Connection. This is the amazing Clay. How can I make your day great? And then they say, something to you. They say, yeah, I just want to know what you guys charge for a wedding. And the first question is, well, great. So just in case we get disconnected, what phone number and name can I put with your file? You always ask that. You're not saying no. You just say, great.
Right, exactly. That's
just in case we get disconnected, what's your name?
I love it.
Your number. And you ask that stuff. You have to have 5 rapport building questions. Now, the second part is you have to have 2 need finding questions. You have to have at least 2 need finding questions, preferably 5, but at least 2. Okay, so point number 2 is you have to script out the need finding questions. So let me give you an example. You'd say, on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is price and 10 means all you care about is price, and 1 means you don't care about price at all, how important is the price of the DJ for you?
Oh, it's probably about a 5.
Okay, question number 2. In a perfect world, what are you looking for out of a disc jockey? If a 10 is like a super high interactive guy and a 1 is very low key, what are you looking for on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, I don't want him to take over the wedding, but I want him to facilitate it, and I know how important he is for the wedding, so I want him to be, higher end. I want the guy to.
You want him to lead the way.
Lead the way.
Then I repeat what you just said. So what you're saying is you want a guy to kind of lead the way, a guy who's energetic, a guy who's enthusiastic, but not over the top. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, great. And so what you're wanting to do is,
I want a guy that'll help us. If the wedding's a rainbow.
You want to find the leprechaun?
I want him to help us get over the rainbow.
Question number 3 off the reservation. If you were a unicorn and a leprechaun, both, would you ride yourself?
For the professional-looking man out there, this is for you. Are you tired of waiting for hours in disorganized barbershops around town? Are you maybe looking for an upscale haircut experience instead of being treated like a little kid? If either of these thoughts crossed your mind, then Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is for you. The Elephant in the Room Men's Grooming Lounge is proud to offer a variety of packages and memberships for discerning men and regular customers who wish to maintain their tailored look while receiving discounts off of services and products. They're going to bring you in, they'll offer you a beverage, identify your style that you're going for, get you a tailored haircut from one of the professional stylists, wash your hair, and then style it afterwards so you could even go back to work. The experience is awesome. They even do cool things for members like a free nape shave on Mondays or a peppermint oil scalp massage on Tuesday. Check out one of the locations near you and book an appointment. You can check them out at eitrlounge.com or just dial 918-877-2219. Seriously, you're going to love it. 918-877-2219 or visit eitrlounge.com to book an appointment today.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show. It's the happiest show in Tulsa. It's a show where we encourage you not to worry, but to be happy because you know that your business will be growing if you implement what we're teaching. It's a show where maybe for years you've been thinking about reaching to higher places, earning more money, growing that business, turning that dream into reality, and maybe you've been stuck in a rut. And it's a show all about that proactive, very practical training. I mean, Z, you and I are obsessed with that practical training, the very specific, detailed, the stuff behind the stuff.
Yeah, so many people can sit out there and rah and cheer you on and look at you and say, you can do it. And that's a component of business coaching. That's a component of, edifying and building someone up and just encouraging them, But it's the practical steps. It's kind of like, in the segment before this, if you guys are just now tuning in, the good news is you can go to thrivetimeshow.com. And we put every one of the shows up as a podcast on there. So you can share it with a friend. You can listen to it over and over. You can take notes. You can pause it. Because sometimes you get to talk a little fast because we always have so much good stuff to get into the show. But whenever you were talking about recording calls, we're doing a mailbag question today and out of Dublin, Ohio. And basically it was, how do I record when my guys are on the road? And so we're dealing with that. So we went over the 4 reasons why, and the first one was to make a script. You want a script, and then he's breaking down the 5 steps to making a great script because a lot of you guys have heard us talk about that. Well, in our in-person workshop, this is one of the things we do. We take that concept of, hey, make a script, and you're kind of going, okay, I get it. I know I'm supposed to, but I have no idea where to start. I have no idea how to do it. I've never done it before, but I know I need to do it. Help. And so this is the kind of stuff you get in our in-person workshop that we're doing today. And matter of fact, tomorrow is the one for this month, the 24th and 25th of February. They're $500 for you and 3 of your team members to come into the workshop. If you say, I can't afford it, we've got scholarship money available. Money is not going to keep you from coming to this if you feel like you need to come to this. And with all the reviews, and you can kind of Google it and see Thrive 15 conference reviews, I mean, it's life-changing, Clay.
It's a no-brainer, and I promise you today, Thrivers, what we're going to do so you can hear a script when it's all said and done, we're going to edit it up just a little bit, but I actually have a recording of a call that we have actually helped a client produce, a script they've produced, and we actually have a recorded call of them cold calling somebody and actually setting an appointment by using a script. It's awesome stuff. So this is not a charlatan, smoke and mirrors. This is the brass tacks of how to grow a business. And we have a very special guest inside the box that rocks today. This is a guy who we use for many of our printing needs. A lot of times when you come to the Thrive15.com world headquarters, you'll look around and see prints everywhere. You'll see banners and signs, and you might say, what would possess a man to print that kind of stuff? And then the second question is, who printed all that stuff? Well, we have Rick Ellis with Arcadia Printing, who's a great printer inside the show. We're honored to have you here, Rick. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, for people who are not familiar with Arcadia Printing, what kind of stuff do you guys print over there at Arcadia?
I'm glad you asked. We have all kinds of services. We do offset printing, digital printing, large format. We have a garment printing, screen printing, embroidery. We're a full-service print shop. We also offer promotional products for those that like to buy the coffee mugs and that sort of thing.
Well, you have the 2 P's going for you that I love here. You have an awesome product, and you also have a great price. And I love working with you because it's a deal where you never feel like you're being a hog and you're trying to abuse the customer on the prices. You do a great job on the pricing. It's not the cheapest in town, but it's the best in town. Best quality, great price. The whole thing, it's a combination. Thrivers, if you're listening right now and you haven't checked out Arcadia Printing, you really should. And as we're talking about the scripts, what you want to do is you want to script out the 5 parts of your rapport building script. So you want to script out 5 questions that you ask every time your phone rings.
You know what you just skipped over?
What I just skip over?
You just skipped over a bit of farm logic.
Oh, I skipped over some farm logic?
You just kind of threw it out there like in passing fashion. You're like that high-speed train today going by farms, just one after another. You're in the French countryside, merci beaucoup, having your little cafe latte, yes, on your way to London, and just going by farms. You can't go by a farm that fast, you see, because down on the farm, what you just said about Rick, my number 1 rule in business, and that is pigs get fat. We like fat pigs on the farm.
And
hogs get butchered.
Oh.
And somebody out there's going, what is, I don't even know what that means. Well, it means this, and you touched on it, Clay. And I like to kind of, I don't want to just kind of skip over something. It means don't be greedy. In other words, you can make a good profit selling your stuff, Rick. But if you price it too high, then guess what? You're going to get butchered. You're going to lose your business because someone's going to come in and undercut you. So there's a balance in there of making money. All right, that's being a pig. No, it's getting fat, making a good profit, but not charging too much for it. That is being a hog, or that's being greedy. So there's your farm logic for the segment.
This just in from what's the organization that's obsessed with farms? What's the group?
FFA.
FFA. This just in from the FFA and Dr. Zellner's ranch here. The farm logic tip of the day. Now, Thrivers, here's the deal. So we're going into the rapport. There's 5 rapport building questions you have to ask. And by the way, if you want a copy of the script, get out to the Thrivetime Show workshop this Friday. We'll give you all the templates, all the nuggets. It's all there. The second is you want to script out 5 needs-based questions, 5 questions designed to build the needs. Now, the key to this is you want to ask the customer where they are versus where they want to be. So a good question would be, if you're like an orthodontist, you may say, well, let me ask you, if price wasn't, if all companies charge the same price, what's the one thing you're looking for out of an orthodontist? If you're a real estate agent, you may ask, hey, if all real estate agents charge the same price, what's the main thing you're looking for out of a real estate agent? But the thing is, you want to make sure that you have 5 scripted questions if you're the business owner, because you know more about the industry than the person you just hired. Work with me. If you just hired somebody, they don't know about the industry like you do, and so you want to communicate that knowledge on paper. And so, Rick, I want to ask you this question here. How long have you been printing in the Tulsa area, my friend?
I started in 1983.
So 83, I'm just kind of doing the math, 83, 93, 2000.
34 years.
34 years. And so there's some things that you know about printing that most people don't know. So let's take business cards for an example.
Okay.
I see so many business owners that print business cards, and they get printed out wrong. They come out wrong. They look weird. How could you at Arcadia help somebody make sure that they get their prints the right way when they're printing their business cards?
Well, we have a great team, so I would advise them to consult with our graphic designer. We always go with the philosophy, less is more. Some people try to put their entire resume on a business card, so I would go with a little bit less on there, make it a clean look, and that's kind of what everybody likes.
And now let me ask you this. When you're printing like a banner, I see business owners all the time who, struggle to get a banner printed quickly because they say, oh, my printer, doesn't know what they need. Really, I think the business owner doesn't know what the printer needs, and there's sort of a miscommunication going on there. Talk to me about, if somebody out there is listening and they need to get banners and signs and all these things printed, what's sort of the first step they need to be taken?
Well, you need to know what message you want to get across to your client. So that would be the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Know where you want to put it.
Yep.
Know if it's an indoor and outdoor application.
Got it.
So there's a lot of things that go into it. And then, of course, you want good, clean artwork. Keep in mind, people's reading banners from quite a ways off.
Yep.
So you want to not put too much on it, but just enough to get the message out.
So if I were going to script that, Z, how I would do it in the script is I would ask the customer on the phone. I would ask them those 5 rapport building questions. Question number 1.
Yeah.
Again, in case we get disconnected, how'd you hear about us? Or in case we get disconnected, what's your name and phone number? Script all those 5 questions out. Then I move on to the needs, and I might say, now, will this be used indoor or outdoor? 2, what is the message you want to communicate? 3, Where will this print be located when it's done? And I ask them these questions, and that allows me to understand truly what their needs are in a succinct and scalable way. Now, Z, the scalable part is the thing I want to hammer home with the script. Scalable means that somebody other than the owner can handle the calls. And where do you see most business owners getting that wrong, Z?
Well, they are really good at it, and so they want to do it, and they never really come up with a good script, and they don't know these rules of script making. So the script they have is not good, and then they're like, why can't you sell it like I sell it, And the thing about it is they're not recording, they're not following up, they're not inspecting what they expect, and so the whole system kind of fails. And so the step one is getting a good script, and I think a lot of guys out there are taking good notes right now and saying, oh my gosh, this is going to allow me to take me and make multiple versions of me or multiple me's, Now, and getting back to the banner real quickly,
yeah.
I've got a rule of thumb for those out there making a banner or doing a billboard. There's a good rule of you don't want to make it too busy. And people say, well, what does that mean? See, that's not, what does that mean? What does busy mean? Busy is a relative term, right? You want to keep it below 10 contact points. I think 6 is probably ideal, 6 or 7 things on there to look at. You get much more than that, and people, it's just too busy. It's just too much to look at, and they just go, we're going to try to buy it.
Now, Thrivers, after you've scripted the rapport and the needs portion of your script, now you have to get into the benefits. And the benefits, it's kind of like the soapbox. It's kind of like when you're a preacher and you're on the stage. This is your chance for about 90 seconds to preach the benefits of your company, a.k.a. the solutions that you provide for your customers, and you want to support each solution by a fact. And we come back, we're going to get really into it, but it's so important that every time that you say a solution that you provide, you must support it by a fact. There's a book called Soft Selling in a Hard World, and this underscores the rule called the law of credibility, but you never want to say anything that you cannot prove. It's so important. And when we come back, we're going to teach you more about it. Now, if you're just tuning in, or before we kind of get back from break, I encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com. We have one ticket left. thrivetimeshow.com. We have one ticket left for this weekend's Thrive Time in-person 2-day, 15-hour workshop.
Are you looking to start or grow a business? Then you are definitely going to have problems and questions along the way. You will find the answers to all of your business questions at Thrive15.com. Thrive15.com provides online video-based business training taught by millionaires and successful entrepreneurs for less than $1 per day. That's less than your daily coffee budget. It's no classrooms, no get-rich-quick seminars. These are trainings broken into 15-minute segments that get you the answers that you need. It's business school without the BS. I dare you to try a 7-day free trial. Simply go to Thrive15.com, and the first 100 people will also receive a free downloadable for how to optimize your website. So stop wasting your time and money. Go to Thrive15.com and get your business questions answered now.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back into the conversation. Whether you're a brown-eyed girl, a brown-eyed boy, a blonde-haired boy, a redhead, a Samoan, somebody from the Alaskan area. We have Thrivers in Singapore, people in Australia. We welcome you into the audio dojo of Mojo, where we are focused on making your wallet grow. Z, it could be said this show is kind of like a miracle grow for the wallet. I mean, specifically, we're deep diving into how to build a script today, but we're answering questions from Thrivers today. But really, we're all about just helping your wallet grow, bottom line.
I am just picturing right now all the Thrivers out there listening to this right now.
Hum it.
And there's some people that are sitting at their desk right now, and their hip on one side is rising because their wallet is expanding.
Greg, that wallet just got bigger. That's crazy.
And it's just growing, and it's getting uncomfortable to sit that way.
Wow.
And now he has to take his wallet out of his back pocket and sit up on the desk because it's getting so big.
Now, Z, I have a real quick, 2 quick examples about the power of scripting.
Okay.
Years ago, I was working with a franchise where the owner could sell a franchise himself. He was awesome.
Awesome.
And so what I did is I recorded him. There's a program called 8x8, 8x8.com. We used a little different software back in the day called Celerity. But the point is, you just record the calls. Okay. And he told me, he said this, I remember him saying this, he goes, it is not possible to teach people to do what I do, so I need to spend all my time doing that. And I remember going, psh, psh, okay. this is not, that's not a reasonable thing. But I couldn't say that because he's paying me. And I said, here's the deal. Can I please record?
You probably try to encourage him, right? You
Well,
probably had a little, was it kind of romantic? Did you say, listen?
As a coach, you don't want to irritate your client because you're still the boss, but you want to be direct and candid.
So I said, put on your little.
I said, hey, why don't you put those chocolate strawberries down? No, but seriously, I said, hey, here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and record the next 5-10 phone calls you do. I'm going to transcribe them, and I'm going to put together a script. And the next call that comes in after I do this, I'll book them. And if I book them, then if I use a script and I close a deal, will you see the value? And he goes, absolutely.
Whoa, time out. Here again, speed train through the French outback. That was a super move, golden nugget right there. You just skipped over it.
I recorded the calls.
Skipping down the thing. So listen, if you're out there going, how do I script it? Because I know mine are awesome. Record your call.
You have to do it.
And then you do it 5, 6, 7, 10 times.
I like to go 10 times, yeah.
And then you can take it and you can now form a script from what you're doing.
Exactly. So if you ever watch Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, or you watch Brian Regan, or you watch Seinfeld, they have a thing called a routine. And what happens is every night they do almost the exact same routine, and it produces almost the exact same results. Have you ever seen a great performer? Have you ever seen Justin Timberlake in concert or Prince in concert? It's the same show or close to every single time. If you look at the greatest golfers in the world, they have the same stance, the same swing. Just, if you watch baseball, remember Julio Franco had that crazy batting stance. If you watch basketball, Rick Barry, the best free throw shooter in the history of the NBA, shot these underhand, ridiculous-looking free throws, but it was a system. And all I'm saying is you've got to follow the same system every time. And so the next part of the script is you have rapport. You script out the 5 rapport building questions. If you missed it, go to thrivetimeshow.com. 2, you script out the needs-based questions. And 3rd, you've got to script out your benefits. Now, a benefit is how you solve a problem supported by a fact. And so, see, I'm going to give the Thrivers 3 benefits that we always tell people on the phone about our in-person workshops.
All right, here we go.
Of which we have 1 ticket remaining. So I don't have the script in front of me, but I say it so often I feel like I've got it kind of mastered at this point. So here we go. When you come to the workshop, to the in-person workshop, your satisfaction is guaranteed, meaning that the tickets are typically $500 to attend. But if you in our some sort of a financial bind, we have a scholarship program for you. But whatever you pay, if you're not happy, you get it back.
And that is awesome.
Second, there's no upsells. So when you come to the conference, there's nothing we have to upsell you. There's nothing. So when you come to the event, you're going to know there's no pressure to buy anything. And so I encourage you to go read the reviews, watch the videos. That's a fact. You can see people telling you that there has been no upsells.
So you're saying that the boom book that we give everybody that attends, I don't have to pay extra for it?
No, it's all included.
This is all just included.
Yeah.
All this awesomeness right here. All this is just boom.
And the third, and this is, again, my team would say this, but the third is that when you come to the event, this is them saying this, but they would say, Clay Clark would be doing the talks. It's 15 hours over 2 days. And Yahoo called him the Jim Carrey of entrepreneurship. You know, we kind of consider him to be more of like a Jim Gaffigan of entrepreneurship, but it's fun. You laugh, you learn, you have a good time. It's 15 hours of power. And when you come to the event, we treat you humanely like you're a business owner. So you're not crammed into a big arena where you don't have room to take notes. You can sprawl out on a desk, and it really just feels comfortable and inviting. And the point is we've scripted it out, and we know what to say. We know how to say it, and we know that our representatives are going to say accurate things on the phone. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. And so I want to ask our special guest today, Rick with Arcadia Printing. Rick, you probably have some benefits that you've either scripted out or you've taught your team over and over in team meetings. So what are a couple of the benefits of using Arcadia that you like to believe, makes you guys unique from maybe other printers out there?
Well, we are a different type of print shop. We're not your typical print shop. We say that all the time on our staff meetings. We do so many variety of things. We're not just a walk-in copy shop and you leave. We offer such a variety of services. But one thing that we do try to do, and we go over every single week in our staff meetings, is we try to exceed expectations. So if somebody, from the time the phone rings, we try to take care of their needs to the art department, through the production, and all the way till it's delivered.
You know how I know that you do this?
How?
Well, we've used you before, and you guys do an awesome job. I mean, it's a great service, and I will say that the thing is you make that statement but then you also back it up. And I think that's so important for the listeners, if you're listening right now. Whatever statement you make, you have to support with a fact. You have to do it. You have to do it. I mean, so many people, I remember we did a workshop one day and we were talking about real estate marketing. And one of the people at the event said to me, Z, they go, how do you know that your script works? Z, someone at the conference puts their hand up and said, how do you know that your script works? And I was ready for it. You ready for what I told him?
Yes, and this is the kind of practical stuff and the kind of ability to ask questions that is just so awesome about the in-person workshops.
And I said, because, again, we're not a charlatan. We're not making stuff up. I said, hey, when we come back from the break, I'm going to cue up an audio clip of an actual call. Now, in real estate, there are certain people that choose to sell their own house and not use a realtor. And it's typically because they either A, don't have enough equity to afford to pay a realtor, or B, they just are kind of that crafty person that wants to do it themselves. And that's called a FSBO, or for sale by owner. For sale by owner. For sale for the root word by owner.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. You're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
That's the good thing about a live show, you know. I mean,
yeah, you just get that. You never get that feeling of not liveness when it's live. All right, now here we go. So I queued up this audio clip, and Z, I'm going to play it for you now. Our producer is going to do a live edit. It's a little bit of a tape delay, so he's going to live edit this. But this is a call that we have a person that I've worked with who's used this particular cold call script to grow a multi-million-dollar business by cold calling for sale by owners, getting the listings, putting a sign in the lawn. By the way, when you have a sign in the lawn, other people call you. It leads to more listings, more open houses, more deals, more referrals. And Z, are you ready for it? 3 minutes of awesome.
I can hardly wait.
Now, you know when you watch football, how John Madden kind of breaks it down? I'm going to give you the rights to kind of break it down. So I'm going to
we did Telecaster. You can make all the X's and the booms and the this and the this and this kind of watch this guy.
So I'm going to play the clip, but you have the mic rights to comment on it. Here we go.
Okay, good.
Hello.
Hey, this is Rich Gamby with Group. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I tell you what, I just enjoyed all 23 flavors inside of my Dr. Pepper, and now I'm moving over to our famous coffee Red Bull mixture. So I'm about to have wings.
Oh my word!
Pause. Let's get into that.
Well, you see, the good thing is you gotta, as a doctor. So anytime you can say doctor in the script, it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the deal, Travers. We scripted out the humor right there, though. Okay, so what he's saying is designed to not sound like a cold caller. Who says they're having a Red Bull and was it Red Bull and Dr. Pepper blend?
No, I think it was just, he said he was enjoying the 23 flavors of his Dr. Pepper, because there's 23 in there, supposedly.
It's all scripted, though, okay? And we've sat down and written down every word. Now, with the watches, it doesn't feel scripted.
I just hammered 3 vodka cranberries, and I'm feeling pretty good.
I can't feel my face. No, but when you get a cold call, it doesn't feel like a cold call if someone makes a comment like that. It feels humane.
You're right, yeah.
Because typically this is what happens. When you cold call, you go, thank you for calling, yada, yada, how can I help you? Or you'll call someone and go, is this Mr. Robert Zellner? Who says your first and last name except for a member of the government or unless you're in trouble?
No, and they never say
or
that. They always say Bob Zoellner.
Hi, is this Bob Zoellner?
I always know it's a cold call. I'm like, no, he no longer lives here. Click.
And then you ask them, how are you doing? And they go, I'm doing fine. The reason for my call is, so we don't want to sound like that. So here we go. Keep going.
You're going to pass out.
I mean, that's a very good possibility. But I'll at least wait to die till after our phone call. Fair?
Okay, good.
Boom. All right. So I'm not calling to wow you with my barista knowledge. However, I am calling because I noticed that you are listing your home without the assistance of a real estate agent, and was truthfully just wanting to know what the deciding factor on that was.
Pause. You see how we asked a question? It's scripted so that she'll get engaged in the conversation. That's the idea. She's actually talking now. You feel like she's not treating him like he's a cold caller now. They're kind of talking almost like they're human to human talking, Z. It's not human to caller combat.
Oh my gosh.
If this keeps up, he might set an appointment. Here we go.
Just trying to save my 3%. That's the deciding factor.
How about 1%?
I don't know. We'll see. I think we're going to try it on our own, and then, we'll see what happens. But I don't think it's going to be on the market long.
Okay, I agree with you. You live in a fantastic neighborhood. Truth be told, I was just calling to see if I could set up a 30-minute conversation. I'll bring you some of said Starbucks Red Bull blend. We can go over everything that we do, such as our drone videography and photography, our state-of-the-art graphics team, and if you don't like us, you can pour that coffee Red Bull mixture down the drain. You can escort us to the door and then shut it right in our face. Or, best case scenario, we help you sell your house for 1%.
Here we go.
And based on your busy schedule, is just going to see what would be the best time to swing on by for 30 minutes.
Can you do it?
You are a really good salesperson, and I really appreciate it. So I will give you 30 minutes.
Oh and
my
she sets an
goodness.
appointment. And check it out. For every 100 calls this man made,
Okay.
he was able to set 7 appointments. Do you
That's
know what that
above
means?
average. That's 7%. That's a pretty good strike rate.
That turned into usually out of every 7 listings, we were tracking those. It was about two actual listings. So every 7 appointments, it turned into 2 deals. Do you realize, Thrivers, that's how a multi-million-dollar real estate career was launched, was with those calls?
That's incredible. And you know what? I'll be very frank with you. Just analyzing that call and breaking it down.
Yep.
He wasn't the smooth. That wasn't the smoothest call. I'll just be very frank with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
but the
he was
thing
a little
is,
hesitating there. It almost sounded like a little bit that he was reading right in the middle of it. Of course, we were expecting that.
but the thing is, when you hire somebody that, let's say they're making $10 an hour and they've never made a call before, you've got to have a script that's pretty tight so it allows people who are less experienced to have success. Now, if you want to go out there and hire a very, very talented and skilled sales professional, get the 100,000 ready and go do it.
Yeah, but that's my point, though. It didn't sound perfect, and yet he booked the appointment. Oh, that's awesome.
Billy. Now, Thrivers, here's the deal. We are all about helping you change your financial game. But the reality is, if you learn these things and you don't implement them, it doesn't matter. Thomas Edison said that knowledge without execution is hallucination. Okay, vision without execution is hallucination. So when we get back, we're going to get more into the details of what it takes to acquire business. We have a very special guest on the show today, Mr. Rick Ellis with Arcadia Printing. And he's going to tell us a little bit about how he's grown his company, because he's been in the business for, did you say 34 years?
Yes.
But you just look like you just turned 34. How's this possible? A lot of fish oil? Is it a lot of fish oil? Is that what you're doing?
I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. So he's going to walk us through, Z, how he's grown his business by doing what he said he's going to do and just standing by his promise and marketing consistently. It's going to be super exciting to get into the details of how local Oklahoma grew his business.
Well, and that's fantastic. I'll tell you what, it's not too late. 1 ticket left. You can bring 3 team members tomorrow here at Thrive 15. Get on thrivetimeshow.com.
Boom.
Right now, how are you taking credit card payments for your business? It's never been faster or easier to begin taking credit card payments for your business than with Square. You know the little white square that plugs into your phone's headphone jack? It's awesome. This payment app is great for businesses such as food trucks, beauty salons, and retail shops. The users receive a small portable card reader that they can attach to a phone or other mobile device to take fast and convenient payments. The way it works is that it subtracts 2.75% of every time a card is run, and it does it automatically. So if you sell a sandwich for $20, you'll see a net gain of $19.45 in your bank account the next day. If you enter the card by hand, it costs 3.5% plus 15 cents on top of that. They encrypt everything so you know you're secure. They make it super clear to start and even offer bonuses for sharing with friends. So you can learn more at squareup.com. It's free to download and works on all devices and operating systems. So make sure that you go visit squareup.com.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. My name is Clay Clark, the co-host with the Mo-Ost, and welcome back to Talk Radio 1170, where you go for business school without the BS, because you could spend $100,000 on a business degree. You could go to one of these get-rich-quick seminars. You could hire a charlatan. You could end up living in a van down by the river, but you've chosen to tune in to the Thrivetime Show, where you can get those nuggets of knowledge. And one thing we pride ourselves on doing is answering the mailbag questions from Thrivers like you. So we had this original question that came to us from Dublin, Ohio. And the Thriver asks, I know recording calls is important, but if our sales reps are remote, how do we record their calls? Well, we walked them through the system. You got to write your 5 rapport building questions. You've got to script out your 2 needs-based questions. 3, we said you got to script out your benefits supported by facts. 4, you've got to script out your close. And we actually played you a recorded call so you could hear it. But what we did is we stopped right before he goes for the specific close. Now, I want to give you the specifics of the close so everyone kind of understands what's happening here, okay? What you want to do is you never want to ask, do you want to move forward, yes or no? Never ask that. Never say, do you want to move forward? Don't do it. This is what you ask, the technical details. You ask this. 1, preferably, when would you like to start? And they go, well, I'd like to start maybe next month or next week, or preferably, when do you need the print piece? Preferably, when do you want the photographer to be booked, or whatever the question is. You just want to ask that, when would you like to start? Then you say, well, with my schedule, I'm very busy. I know you are too. How does this time or that time work? And you want to set a specific time. And Z, why is it so important when dealing with business professionals and just people in general? Why is it so important at your optometry clinic that you set a specific appointment as opposed to going, well, anytime between 10, 4, basically, we'll just get you. I mean, why is it so important, if at all possible, that you set a specific appointed time?
I am so glad you asked me that specific question.
Yes.
Because this is one of the things we deep dive into in our in-person workshops. You see, here's the trick to getting stuff done. Here's the trick to managing your time. Here's the trick to being in charge of your schedule and your calendar and not being just kind of out there. Ooh, this is like the rudder on your sailboat, okay? And that is, you only get done what you have scheduled.
Oh, come on now.
Just say it again. You only get done what you have scheduled. So when you're sitting there at the end of the night and you're eating your dinner and you're looking up and you're like, I didn't get anything done today. And then I would ask you, well, could we look at your calendar? What did you have scheduled? Nothing, but I knew I had some stuff to do.
Here's what I see what's going on inside the head of your customer. We all basically move to different strokes. Like, everyone has kind of their own world view, their own way of doing things. But what'll happen is, we'll get some 80s different strokes music queued up. I want to let this play for like an hour. Can we let it play for an hour? Is that okay?
Can I take a break?
Okay, no, seriously, here's the thing. A lot of times, you're talking to a customer who's never set an appointment in their life for anything. Ever. And so if you don't ask them, like, hey, when's a good time? Our optometry clinic, we're very busy now. We want to get you in. We don't want to make you wait. Would 10 or 10:30 be better? If you don't make them choose a time or ask them to choose a time, they will go, well, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, pretty much I'll just come on in there around like 11-ish, probably noon, 10. And I used to, as a consultant, I used to let people play that game with me. And, oh, my gosh, you talk about a wasted day. You have 4 customers that might or might not come around between 10 and 2. All of a sudden, you feel like you're dealing with a major cable company or something. I mean, you're just a waste of your whole afternoon.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, you're listening to The Thrivetime Show.
And then when you go for the close, eventually you're going to run into this 5th step, which is an objection. Hi, my name's Clay. I represent the human race, and we only have 3 primary objections. Objection number 1, no time. Objection number 2, no need. Objection number 3, no money. That's all we've got. See ya. That's all the human race has. No time, no need.
Well, that was actually the voice of Mickey
money.
Mouse, so that's not even a human. I
don't know why you would confuse me with Mickey Mouse. I'm the voice of the human race who's representing the reasons why we say no. No time, no need, no money. That's the thing, but people...
No time, no need, no money.
That's it, and people have those objections all the time. So you might as well invest in learning how to overcome those objections. And at our 2-day workshop, Z, we'll teach you this thing called the deal wheel. But for sake of time, we don't have time Z today to get into the deal wheel because it's a very specific move. It's a system. It's a downloadable. But if you come out to our in-person workshop tomorrow, we have it's from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., 1 ticket left. We will be happy to give you the moves, give you the system, teach you the deal wheel. It's like a Jedi power when it comes to sales.
Yeah, and the important part is, like Vanessa pointed out earlier on today's show, is that it's 1 ticket, but you can bring up to 3 of your team members. So if you have a couple of managers, or you've got a couple of trainers, you've got a couple of people that you want to have also put their ears on this too and take notes with you, and you have to pay for each one of them. You buy 1 ticket, you can bring 3 people. That is amazing, by the way.
It's amazing.
It's like a miracle.
It's huge.
It's like a business miracle.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I was just reading Donald Trump statements. But yes, but basically, no, Thrivers, here's the deal. We're moving on to our next question from a Thriver just like you.
Wait, time out. We're not done with
I get so excited sometimes. I just want to move on, and then I don't. I just want to hit this button and just let my celebration come out. Z, did you want me to stay here for a minute?
No. I was just saying, okay, that was step 1, scripting. Then we had the other 3 steps: quality, analyze, and quota. And I'd like to touch on those briefly.
Okay.
And then I also want to let's just finish up this segment on this one, then we can start the next segment fresh with a new question. How's that?
He's a fair guy. He's a fair question. I'm going to do.
I'm gonna, I think I want to, marinate.
Now, here's the deal. One, you want to analyze the quality of the call. Once you have a script, you just have to know the people on your team by default are not going to follow the script.
Well, the thing about it is, and that's the comment we made whenever you played that recording, is that I said, you know what, that could have been smoother, but the quality, so you coach that up, you have them repeat it a few times, you have them role play with you a few times, you get it a little smoother, but the bottom line was that guy gets a big pat on the back because he closed the deal. I mean, he got the meeting.
He got the meeting, absolutely. And it did turn into a listing, just so you know. Now, Thrivers, we have a very special guest inside the box that rocks today, Rick with Arcadia Printing. And Rick, I know before you print anything, you guys look at the quality of that and you make sure the things are spelled right and you sort of obsess about it. Why? I mean, most printers I've worked with don't do that. How important is it for you to analyze every print piece before it ships, before it gets printed, before it gets out your door?
We just want to make sure that the quality's there, everything's correct before it gets into the hands of the consumer.
Now, if people want to go to your website, what's your website, my friend?
ArcadiaPrinting.com.
ArcadiaPrinting.com. But I'm going to tell you this, Thrivers, it wouldn't be sane to print a bunch of print pieces without proofing it physically, without seeing the print, nor is it sane to approve a script if you haven't heard the calls the people are making. It doesn't make any sense. It's like analyzing game film of a football team but not watching the film. Just going, well, in summary, guys, I mean, I kind of skimmed through the footage.
It's just, in summary, you missed a couple blocks and, you fumbled once.
In the detail, you'll find the difference. It's so important to analyze those details. Now, the next couple points is you want to make sure that the quality of your script itself is good. Because if you gave someone a bad script, and oh, by the way, almost every script that I write is not very good the first time because you have to improve the script over time as a result of hearing the calls. And the fourth step is you want to have a quota. And I'm going to give you the quota, Thrivers out there. If you're listening, every salesperson listening to this right now, every salesperson that will work for you, every salesperson who's serious about their job can and should make 100 outbound calls a day. 100 outbound calls per day.
That sounds excessive.
I could do that in 4 hours. Easily, no problem. Usually talk to 4 or 5 people, leave a ton of voicemails. 100 calls per day, all day. If you can't make 100 phone calls a day, you need, I don't know what you need to do. You need to take some Red Bull. You need to take maybe some coffee. Maybe some, whatever you need to take. Maybe you need to swirl up some Dramamine mixed with some Sudafed. Whatever you need to do, just find the chemical concoction that works for you to motivate yourself to make 100 calls a day. If you're doing sales, you don't make 100 calls a day, you will fails.
Okay, managing your money has not been easier. Mint.com is the solution to ambiguous and blind money management. You can effortlessly create budgets that are easy to stick to or even use one that they make for you. Design budgets that are appropriate for now and put you in position to succeed in the future. Get notifications for weird account charges and receive personalized tips for eliminating fees and saving more money. Check your credit with a free credit score and explore what you can do to improve it to be able to purchase the things that you really want later. Link up the app on your phone, and money management on the go has never been easier. You can even link up your portfolio accounts so you can see your bank accounts and stock values side by side. Mint.com, you got to go check it out, and you can sign up for free. Again, that's mint.com, mint.com. Go sign up right now. It's definitely a game changer for money management.
Hello, Thrivers. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio, the most epic business show ever. If you're looking to make your sales moves just a little bit more clever, you're looking for all the answers to all your business questions, you have found the right show. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio. If you feel like you're trapped inside an episode of Game of Thrones, well, that's just weird because at no point are we trying to fix a subliminal, weave in those subliminal Game of Thrones messages. We're just talking with epic voices while playing the theme song to the Game of Thrones. Nothing weird here, Z. That's just something we do.
Nothing weird.
Unbeknownst to Z, we've been trying to play subliminal Game of Thrones messages for several weeks now. This is the first time it's been manifest out loud. But anyway, no, seriously, Thrivers, we are now answering the mailbag questions from Thrivers like you, and we have a great question that came in from a Thriver and located there. Her name is Heather, I don't know where in the world she's from because it does not say here, but it does say her name is Heather. And she asks this question. I'm going to start by asking you, Z, the answer. And then I'd also like to ask Rick Ellis the same question with Arcadia Printing, our special guest.
Oh, wait a second. We're getting off recording calls now?
Yeah, we're moving on. We're moving on. It's in the past.
One last little thing I wanted to point out. If you're in the United States of America, a lot of people are saying, well, that's against the law.
Yeah.
You can't record a call.
Well.
You can't record a call.
But
the law specifically says that if one party knows it's being recorded, it's legal. So, if you want to record your employees talking to somebody, as long as your employee says thumbs up, and they know that they're being recorded, it's all good.
It's all good.
Does that make sense?
That's why when you call American Express, it says for quality control, this call may be recorded.
Bingo. Yeah.
That's why that message says it all the time. So, Thrivers, that is the move. I'm just telling you, you've got to have a recorded call. You have to have a recorded call. You have to have a template of what success looks like. And so we now go back to the mailbag. Let me get my mailbag music. I got some good mailbag music. So here we go. All right. Heather writes this. What factors should we consider when applying a pricing model to our adversity coaching company? We are trying to decide if we should go after a few high-paying clients or more clients at a more modest price. So, Z, I think the question is, should we go after a high-priced model or low-priced? Z, I'm going to go with you. Let's start with you. Pricing models for 500 points. Dr. Z, what say you?
I say you start high and you can always go down low. It's always easier to lower your price. I've had companies before where we think, wow, what are people going to pay for this? It's fill in the blank, and you're like, well, they pay $1,000.
$1,000?
Well, they pay $2,000.
$2,000.
So after research, you know what the competition's doing. All right, and then you value you've done some research. You've mystery shopped your competition. So you try to have an idea of your benefit basis is based upon them. And if you're clever and you're smart, you can still come in and be a pig and not a hog. Still underprice them, but still make a pretty good amount. Now, when you're talking on there, that is a concept when you start a business you have to get your head wrapped around. Are you going to be a Walmart model or are you going to be a Nordstrom's model? Now, this business fits in more for a Nordstrom's model in the sense that you're modeled to your adversity coaching company. Adversity coaching. What is that, by the way, Clay?
That's an individual person who's coaching another person. So in terms of the scalability of it, it's not an automated thing. You can't just mass produce it off an assembly line. That's a person-to-person. That's something where you're not going to be able to compete on the cheapest price and probably stay sustainable.
Right. So that's one where you have to, that's why you're more of the Nordstrom's model about adding value, benefits. You want to be able to make sure on those, when we talked earlier about the scripts, when you build your rapport and then you do your needs, and then now all of a sudden the benefits part of it, you got to make sure that you're packed full of benefits, and you also need to make sure what your competition's doing so you can beat them up on the benefit side of things. But you want to start high, and here's your rule of thumb: if no one's buying it, your price too high. It's kind of like real estate. If I went to you, Clay, and we drove around Tulsa, and I pointed to any house in Tulsa and said, "Would you buy that for $1?" Your answer would be,
"Yeah, I think so. Let's do it. Let's do it."
Okay. And if I asked you, "Would you buy that house for $20 million?" You would say,
"Well, not so much, Ski."
Yeah. So the point is to find that balance in there. Obviously, I know that's a ridiculous analogy, but it's the same thing as far as if your adversity coaching was very, very inexpensive, they'd say yes to it. But then it'd be unsustainable because you can only do so many clients for so long. So you have to figure out where your cost base is, and then you have to figure out what the competition's doing. And then you want to try to start higher, and then that way gives you room to discount or to do a deal or to scale it back down if you need to. So
now, Rick Ellis, I want to ask you the same question. Rick Ellis with Arcadia Printing, our special guest today inside the box that rocks. You've been in business for 34 years, so you know a little thing or two about business. Talk to me about pricing. How do you go out there and price something? What's kind of your model? What tips would you have for our listener out there, Heather?
Well, you kind of need to know the market that you're in. So different markets require different pricing levels. Here in Tulsa, where it's very moderately priced, it's a lot different than it is like in LA. So know your market, know your surrounding area, know your product first of all, and know what the other competition is selling it for.
Now, Thrivers, I'm going to give you 3 specific tips that I think encapsulate everything that Z and Rick just said, and I want to make sure I give you 3 action items. Action item number 1 is definitely know your niche, or to your point, know your competition. You've got to know what the other guys are charging.
Yes.
You got to know that because you can't be priced 20 times higher. I mean, you just got to find that out. There's weird industries out there like the jewelry industry where it's normal to have major markups, and there's other industries like let's go with like a Walmart. You mentioned Walmart. I mean, if you're out there competing with Walmart, I mean, good luck. Their margins are so slim and so low. You just have to know your niche. The second thing I would do is make sure that you factor in enough profit to survive. I mean, you have to factor in enough profit to survive. You have to know how much profit do you need to make it, because if you don't factor in the profit, let me tell you what, no one else is going to. I mean, you've got it. You just have to do that. And the third thing, and this is probably the part that I go, people say, are you serious? I would definitely have, and again, this kind of ties into our first point, but I would definitely mystery shop every single competitor. I would definitely, go through the process of calling them, trying to book them, get their emails, get their response, see the process. And you might say, is that ethical? I don't know if it's ethical for your family to starve because you have no clue of what your competition's charging. So I'd say point 1, know your competition, know your market. Yes, definitely. 2, know how much money you need to make to be able to survive. But 3, go through the process of actually picking up the phone, calling your competition, and finding out all the details. Because if you're flying blind, Z, I'm telling you what, the competition, it's not so kind when you're out there and you have no clue what your competition's charging and you keep losing deals. I mean, you've got to find that out.
Well, here's the deal. We are like the optometrist of business schools. In other words, if you're blind or flying blind or you don't know that you can't see something, you come to us, and in our in-person workshops or on Thrive15.com or our one-on-one business coaching, we actually examine your business eyes and give you business glasses. How's that?
Now, Z, I haven't seen anything since 1978, but I can tell you one thing. At Oswald's Bagels, what was that? I don't remember, but the point is I don't need fancy glasses. I don't need to be able to see things in front of me. I don't need the fancy internet. I'm just flying blind, baby. Making it happen. Oswald's Bagels. I make every bagel myself out of my van that I live in by the river. It's all paid for, Z. I own that van. Z, I own the van.
Well, and I'm so proud of you, Mr. Oswald. Obviously, you sold a lot of bagels. I know you hand
7. I've sold 7.
I know you hand make every bagel by yourself, and it's a fascinating business model.
It's more of a process, more of an art. Each year, I make one ceremonious bagel. People gather around, usually my wife, myself, my son, and I sell one bagel each year. Stay tuned for more from Oswald's Bagels.
This show's episode is brought to you by Moz.com. If you have ever considered the World Wide Web as a viable strategy for your business, you gotta check out this tool. Online marketing is complicated, but Moz software makes it easy. Companies like 99 Designs, Otterbox, and Aaron's, they all use Moz because it works. Explore organic search keywords for your business, research Bing and Google search results for your targeted keywords, and link up Moz Local and Google My Business. Seriously, this tool is crazy powerful with the clarity it brings to online marketing for your business. Even if you're just curious, start a 30-day trial with Moz.com today. It's a game changer for your business. Moz.com, Moz.com.
All right, Thrivers, welcome back to the Thrivetime Show on your radio. We've got some 80s for the ladies. Now, Z, many of the people on the AM dial are asking, could you turn it up? I'm trying to enjoy my lunch at Oklahoma Joe's. Could you turn it up? Now, see, this is the part where we're going to give shout-outs back and forth. Shout-outs to great Oklahomies, great Tulsans. Here we go. Terry Fisher. If you know Terry Fisher, send that man a text message. He's a great Oklahomie. Z.
Joe from Oklahoma Joe's.
Joe Davidson. Sean Copeland, Regent Bank. Send that guy a text. He's a beautiful man.
He's at Matt Henderson of Henderson and Associates.
In your face, Steve Sutton, great American. Eddie Sutton's son, great American. Love Steve Sutton.
Clay Clark, best business coach in the world.
Oh, wow. Dr. Zellner, a humble and beautiful man, the kind of man that really needs no hype, no intro. He doesn't need somebody to sit there and explain to you that he is the world's #1 optometrist. He helps America see 2020. He helps our country see 2020. He helps other continents see 2020. And recently, he's teamed up with Elon Musk. We don't have any data to verify this, but he's helping other planets to see 2020. It's unbelievable the amount of optometry knowledge he has. He knows more about the cornea than any American.
Hey, actually, that's not the case. But Martians need to see clearly too. Okay, so don't. I mean, Elon and I, or Mr. Musk, excuse me. We want to by 2025. We want to have people to be able to go to Mars. And we want the locals that are there now to be able to see clearly.
Do you remember Marvin the Martian? Marvin the Martian, the character. He had the green.
Was that the guy with the big head?
He had the Roman. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that delightful? Marvin? Yeah. Isn't that delightful? He was always threatening people with his "You don't want to shoot me with your laser," that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love
He
that
was
guy.
always threatening to shoot you or you to be shooting him. And it was this whole thing. Now, Thrivers, we're getting into our mailbag, and we have one final question today that we're going to get into that just gets me excited. This comes to us again via Dublin, Ohio. And here's the question. This is a great question about accountability for salespeople. It says, how do I get my independent sales reps to follow our key performance indicators and to update the lead tracker if they are contractors? Now, Z, I have 3 specific thunder moves that I'm going to share, and I would like for you to just kind of pile on or add any anecdotal examples, any tips. Here we go.
Wait a second here.
Yeah.
Would you put this in English for all the Thrivers listening out there that are not,
Well, okay. What's happening is this guy has salespeople who work for him.
Okay.
And they're just not doing their job, and he wants to hold them accountable, but he's saying they're contractors.
Okay, now explain. Well, here again, what's the difference between a contractor and a W-2?
So a W-2 employee is basically somebody who, as a general rule, has signed your handbook. They've signed probably a non-compete, and they are beholden to do what you want them to do because they are employed solely by you. A contractor has the right to go work for other people, and technically you can't control the hours they work or what they do, and they are contracted with you to provide a certain solution for a certain price.
Now, why would you have a contract? I mean, if you got a sales team out there, hypothetically, what's the advantage of having them as a contractor versus what I'm going to call an employer? We refer to the business as a W-2 employee. So if you've ever worked for someone, you have punched the time clock, and then at the end of the year, you've received a W-2, which is a tax form for you to do your taxes.
2 reasons.
If you're a contractor, at the end of the year, you receive what we call a 1099 form, and that allows you to do your taxes. Okay, so anyway, why would I do one or not the other way?
There's 2 reasons. One is that as a contractor, basically you don't have to set aside certain money for taxes. So certain people look at that and go, "Hey, look, I don't have to pay his portion of certain taxes, so that saves me money on taxation." The second is they feel like, hey, with a contractor, I'm not committed to somebody. If they don't perform, I can move on quickly.
I see.
That's typically the move.
Yeah, and most contractors are paid on
performance, and they're on some kind of retainer. So you might say, I'm going to pay the guy $1,000 a month, and then $50 per deal he closes, or something like that.
There you go. Versus if you have an employee, you've got to pay them per hour, and it's a lot more paperwork and a lot more tax liabilities for you as the employer.
Yeah, and thanks to our most recent presidents, there's more paperwork involved with hiring employees, and we're very grateful for that. As an entrepreneur, we love more paperwork. The more difficult it is to hire somebody, we love that.
Yeah, it makes the day.
Thank you, previous 3 presidents. Thank you guys. 1, 2, 3. We appreciate you guys. Awesome. Thank you for working extra hard to make more paperwork for us. But this is not a political show, so here we go. We get into the details of this. Here are the 1, 2, 3. 1, if you want to hold your sales reps accountable, 1, just let them know right away the expectations. And I hate to be super forceful, but let them know the expectations. Bottom line, just let them know. Okay? So if they don't get it done, quit using them. Okay? I mean, don't be hostage. I have managed a team of employees and contractors, and I will tell you what, I see 0 difference in their performance because I don't put up with it. So I'm just telling you, I don't care. They say, well, technically we don't have to come to a meeting because we're contractors. And I say, well, technically I'm not going to pay you anymore. We're done.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, you're listening to the Thrivetime Show.
I buy my stuff from Office Depot right now at 71st and Lewis because they're nice people over there, and I like them, so I buy things. But if I'm not happy with the service, I would go somewhere else. But I am happy, so I go over there to, I guess it's 81st and Lewis, and I buy stuff. It's a contract relationship. I'm not bound to them. I just buy where I want to buy. It's the same thing as a contractor. Second thing, follow up. Follow up. Follow up, follow up, follow up. See, from the root word, follow up. You have to follow up. Otherwise, your sales will go down. You have to inspect what you inspect. You just have to follow up. I don't know how else to tell you. You just got to set up a set time to follow up and hold them accountable, man.
Yeah, you said that just a little wrong there. You said you've got to inspect what you expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's this KPI, key performance indicator. So in other words, you're saying, listen, okay, if you're going to be a contractor for me and you're going to be out there selling for me, you have to do X, Y, Z. Now, you could sit there and go, well, I guess he did X, Y, Z this month. I guess he's going to do X, Y, Z next month. I guess he's going to hit his key performance indicator because I'm not checking. So here's your money. Have a nice day. Boop, 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 boop. Instead of, like you said, you've got to inspect it. You've got to get in there. You've got to follow up. You've got to follow up on the numbers. You've got to follow up on the leads. You've got to follow up on the sales, on the closings, whatever it is you're paying that person. They may be generating leads for you. They could be closing deals for you. They could be, and you know what, straight on commission. And you're going to find out pretty soon if you put them straight on commission, which means that if they don't sell anything, you don't pay them anything. And you might say, well, you know what? I don't have to fire him because he's not selling anything. But you're wasting your time and energy inspecting them. You're wasting your time and energy training them. You're wasting your time and energy just having them on your team. So even though you're not having to pay them money and they're out there selling for you, they're not selling anything, get rid of them. Just don't let them waste your energy.
Now, here's the final move here, Thrivers, and this deserves a little bit of intro hype.
Oh, that's good stuff, though.
I encourage you to commit to the goal and not to the trolls. There's a lot of people who are out there committing to trolls, meaning you've just said, Bobby, I'm going to hire you as a contractor. I'm committed to you. I believe in you, and they're not producing any results. They're not helping you in any way, but you're committing to a troll. A troll being somebody who's not getting their job done. They're just kind of, well, I wanted to make the calls, but I didn't know what you wanted me to say. I was going to do it, but just kind of a trollish individual. Commit to the goal, not to the trolls, Z. You've got to do it.
Absolutely. I tell you what, because what will happen is if you don't do that, if you're not very firm in laying down what you expect, and then inspecting what you expect, and then following up on what you just, because it's kind of one of those things, kind of like, okay, I just found out that Billy's not doing anything. Now it's up to you to do something about it.
Yes.
You have to do something. You have to do the follow through on it. You've got to say, hey, listen, okay, I told him what to do, and I inspected, and he's not doing it. So now the ball's squarely in my court, and I'll just hide my head in the sand and pretend like Billy will get better at it just magically. I'll go to my back closet, get out the fairy dust, and sprinkle that on the situation.
Sprinkle it, little sprinkle there.
Rick, or I could take some action steps. You say, listen, you guys are blowing my mind. I'm wanting to start a business, and I'm realizing that there's a lot to it. And I want to get my head wrapped around all those things. I don't have 4 years and $100,000 to go to business school, so help me.
And the only way I know how to do it is to encourage you to come out here to the Thrivetime in-person workshops. They're this Friday and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I'm telling you, we have a scholarship available, so from a pricing perspective, everyone can afford it. They're $400 is the full price value of the ticket. However, we have a scholarship available. Nobody will be denied because of the pricing. We only have one ticket left, though. We might be sold out, but then we have one ticket left there. The second thing is they're very interactive. You get a chance to answer have all your business questions answered. They start at 7, they go till 3, but we break every 45 minutes to answer your questions. The third thing about our workshops that's fun is that during the lunchtime, I don't really take breaks. And so if you want to sit there and have an hour-long conversation or ask any questions, no question is too tough for us. We're here to help you. We're here to encourage you so that you can become a successful entrepreneur, just like Rick over here with Arcadia Printing. Rick's been in business in Tulsa for 34 years. And Rick, if people are looking for printing supplies, business cards, banners, how can they get a hold of you, my friend?
They can reach us on our website or go to our website at arcadiaprinting.com, or they can give us a call at 918-622-1875.
What advice would you have for the entrepreneurs out there who are listening that feel like they don't have any mentorship and have no clue of what to do? Why is it so important to have a mentor or some kind of advisor to help you?
Well, none of us know it all, so you need to always lean on other people sometimes. Come to this Thrive 15 time and learn from the best.
I'll tell you what, Thrivers, if you come out to our workshop, you're going to see a lot of prints put in our building by Arcadia Printing. They're the best printing company in Tulsa. We use them. You use them too. With any luck, you might run into a Dr. Zellner sighting. He might be on the beach front there, but near the river. He might be hanging out with some of us, with the guys who are by the van by the river. But get your ticket at thrivetimeshow.com. Z, as always, 3, 2, 1, boom!